doing today? Welcome on board to Inside Arsenal on Eugene Talks Football. Welcome. I hope you all have a beautiful weekend. Of course, it's a brand new week, and I'm sure that you all have a brilliant start to the week. Of course, there's lots to talk about today in the world of football, in the world of Arsenal. But before we start today, I'm just going to give you a bit of an information and appreciation as well. Listen, people, we've just hit 50 plus subscribers. I'm going to tell you a story. It's exactly 3 weeks since we got the idea of building a community, Eugene Talks Football. Of course, it's my duty to sit here and give you news as it comes freshly baked, undiluted. And it's our duty as a collective to grow the community. We are the community. We are the ones who put this community on the map. And of course, we're doing a tremendous job to achieve that success. We have hit 50 plus subscribers. It was just a few days ago, I was looking at the channel and say I just had 5 subscribers. You know, I'm not the one that underestimates the power of little and humble beginnings. And here we have hit 50 plus subscribers. Come on, I don't have the words. I don't have the words to appreciate you. Like I said from the beginning, you are the ones who are the success to this channel. Without you, there is no us. I really do appreciate your love, your concern, your involvement in this community. And this involvement will only spur us to get better and better. I appreciate you so much. Now it's time to hit 100 subscribers. Come on, let's keep sharing the videos, keep commenting, keep subscribing to the channel, share to your friends and families. You know, let's keep growing the channel. And as we do that, I really appreciate every one of you out there, you know, trying as much as possible to grow this channel. Of course, that's it there. Thank you so much, everyone who has been involved one way or the other in order to see to the success of this channel, Eugene Talks Football. And it's my duty to keep doing better and better for you every day so that you get every detail with regards to Arsenal Football Club and the world of football as a whole. Yes, we are going to be focusing on Arsenal players involved in the international break. That's Arsenal players focus on international duty. Apart from Zinchenko and Jakub Kiwior that played in the week that just passed. Of course, I told you that they were involved in games for their national teams respectively. On Friday, David Raya and Martin Odegaard were in action for their respective clubs, Spain and Norway. David Raya played 45 minutes in Spain's game against Colombia. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Colombia. Of course, the results don't really matter to us. What really matters to us is to ensure that our players remain fit and injury-free as they return from the international break. And fortunately, there is no injury to any of the players that were involved in games that were played throughout the weekend. Yes, that's what we all want. It's a good thing to represent your country at international level, but it's better for us as a club to ensure that these players remain fit and ready for the season ahead, and that's what has happened in the first round of games that have been played. David Raya was in goal for 45 minutes against Colombia, though they lost that goal, but I can't say that David Raya was the one that conceded the goal, but football is a team sport, so they all take the L as a collective. So that one ended 1-0 in favor of Colombia. David Raya was in goal for 45 minutes. He was substituted at halftime, and they went on to lose that one. Martin Odegaard was in action for 86 minutes against Czech Republic. The game they lost 2-1, and Martin Odegaard was was in on the field for 86 minutes. What about Jorginho? He was in action against Ecuador last night, a game they won 2-0. Jorginho was in action for 67 minutes until he was subbed off. And Kai Havertz versus France. Kai Havertz was in action for Germany, I beg your pardon, against France. And guess what? Kai Havertz scores again. 60 million down the drain. Kai Havertz scores again. He was on target for Germany against France. He scored the second goal that saw Germany defeat France in an international friendly. Kai Havertz can't stop scoring, isn't? Yeah, he was in action for 80 minutes and he was on target. Good news. I'm so happy for Kai Havertz. He keeps keeping the doubters, keeping them, keeping their lips sealed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Kai Havertz was on target there against France. And William Saliba was an unused substitute. Should we really talk about this? I don't know, a player that is so good, 22-year-old, putting up numbers in terms of keeping clean sheets, performing at the highest level, playing in the Champions League, in the Premier League, doing well top of the league. How can a manager in the mode of Didier Deschamps, not provide a platform for William Saliba to keep developing as a player in the national team? You would argue that, okay, there's, of course, another chance for another game. But listen, we know that this manager hardly gives William Saliba a chance to prove himself, to prove his quality. I can't really put it into good context. I don't understand why this manager keeps ignoring William Saliba every now and then. You keep inviting this player to keep him on the bench. Give him playing time. Give him confidence. That's why I don't understand how some managers behave. These are the players you should give more minutes to. You kept Benjamin Pavard, who is a natural right back, as centre back, where you have the likes of William Saliba on the bench. I cannot understand. I don't see a justifiable reason as to why you will keep a player who is doing everything, who is one of the best centre backs in the world as we speak. In a game of assessment, you keep ignoring that player. I don't understand that. It's really a point for discussion. So I may as well keep that as a point for discussion in my subsequent videos, because it's really important that we talk about it. I don't know what William Saliba needs to do or has to do in order to gain his trust in the national team. I believe it was because Ibrahima Konate isn't really fit. That was why he was on the bench. But give me a justifiable reason, a good reason why William Saliba was an unused substitute in a friendly game against Germany. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on that one. Why Didier Deschamps keeps ignoring William Saliba in the national team? So yeah, we move further to England versus Brazil. Of course, our player Declan Rice was in action. Unfortunately, they lost that game. And of course, there's a lot to discuss about England going forward, especially the tournament they are going to, the Euros, in a few months' time. It's really open for discussion because they lost that game and Declan Rice was in action for the entirety of that game. But listen, I believe England have the best squad going into the Euros, arguably. You could argue that. But in my opinion, they have the best talent in Europe, in world football at the moment. How a manager is not able to manage this team in order to grind out results. You could argue that it's a friendly game, anything happens, but no manager, no team wants to lose a football match. It's also a friendly match for Brazil as well. but they went away with the win at Wembley Stadium, where you have the likes of, and in that particular game, the players performed underwhelmingly. They didn't perform to the high to their highest capabilities. So it's a bit of a concern for all England fans. I believe you agree with me. Phil Foden has always been jostling to be part to play from that right position, as Bukayo Saka is not in the team. He was there in the entirety of the game. He didn't really perform well. I won't say Phil Foden is not a great player. He's an exceptional quality, but you as a manager needs to bring the best out of these players. You must bring the best out of these players. Make them work, make them play football as a team. Look at Ole Watkins putting up numbers in the Premier League. He was nowhere to be seen. He was nowhere to be found in the game. Jude Bellingham, you've got quality all over the pitch, bar the defense. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Gareth Southgate should be given the chance to lead this team to the Euros, or is there need for a change now that we're seeing that the team has no cohesion in terms of going forward, in terms of quality? Let me know what you think with regards to that. Do you think Gareth Southgate is the man to bring glory for England in the Euros, or do you think there is need for a change now? There are managers out there like Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho has been jostling to coach the national team, even England national team. Is it an opportunity for him? Let us know in the comments. Is it Julian Nagelsmann? Of course, he's the manager of the German national team. He's not in the conversation. We're talking about Thomas Tuchel right now. He'll be out of the job come the end of the season. There are managers out there who would do better than Gareth Southgate. Not trying to discredit him, but in terms of quality, there are better managers out there. So I believe that England have the what it takes to lure the top managers who would lead them to glory in the Euros. From what we saw against Brazil the other day, I have my doubts as to whether it's Gareth Southgate that will bring success to this group of players. We've had players in the past in England setup who are extreme quality from the defense to the attack, likes of Paul Scholes, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, Sol Campbell, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, just to mention but a few. But they never won anything. Do you want that to happen to this current generation? Let me know in the comments, please, as we move further. And of course, Trossard was in action for 45 minutes as they played a goalless draw with the Republic of Ireland. So that's the players' focus there on international duty. And the good news is that no injury has been reported from these games that they've played so far. Of course, they still have another round of football games this week before they start returning to the club. So let's pray that we do not hear any injury news again, apart from Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Magalhaes. Yes, we move forward now. Bukayo Saka is expected to be fit for the game against Man City. That's a good news, isn't it? Next weekend, the player has been managing an injury for most of the season. However, he is determined to be on the pitch and help his team. Listen here, a lot of people do not know how strong, how physical Bukayo Saka is. You know, his appearance, he doesn't look it, but I tell you what, he's a player who always shrugs off injuries. He's a player who wants to play. So I've always believed from the onset that this guy is going to come out of that niggling injury and be fit for the game in the weekend. I was very confident of that. So that's the news there. Bukayo Saka is expected to be fit for the game against Man City in the weekend. So let's hope that this information is true, as he's been trying to keep fit. Though he wasn't pictured in recent training sessions by the Arsenal squad that were not in action in the international duty, because yeah, the players have been at the Sober Reality Training Center in London, training ahead of the game this weekend. Bukayo Saka wasn't pictured amongst the players that were training, but of course, you would believe that he has been placed on a personal training where he'll be training, on his own. So I believe that's the reason he wasn't pictured in training amongst the other players. So yes, so the news is that is deemed expected to be ready for that particular game. So we are excited for that one. But there isn't any news concerning Gabriel Magalhaes at the time of recording this video. But I can assure you that as soon as we get news about Gabriel, you will be the first to be notified. Remember that I told you that from now till the end of the season, until the transfer window opens, there's going to be different players that are linked with a move to the Arsenal. And the latest player who has been linked with a move to Arsenal is Morgan Gibbs-White of Nottingham Forest. Of course, you can look into the situation with Nottingham Forest at the moment. They are in a financial mess. They've been deducted 4 points due to FFP rules, and there's need for them to offload a lot of players in order to balance the books. Of course, there's one player that was already linked with a move away from the club, and of course to Arsenal is Jason Murillo. We talked about that, and I always told you that at this point in time, there is nothing concrete. There can be speculations about players linking moves and all of that. And as we keep hearing them, I'll keep giving you the information undiluted. That's a promise I made, and I'll continue to keep my promise to you. And the latest player right now is Morgan Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White is not a bad player. Of course, he's a decent player. He's a good player. He's an unpredictable player. Of course, we know he's been doing it in the Premier League. He's got Premier League experience. Even though Nottingham Forest are not doing well, of course, he does his fair share of the business on the pitch. He's a player that I will fancy for Arsenal, but is he a player that we desperately need? No, but the talks are that he's a player that is likely going to replace Emile Smith-Rowe. That is, if there is a move for Emile Smith-Rowe. Of course, there's similarities between Morgan Gibbs-White and Emile Smith-Rowe, but so that's the conversation there. So what do you think? Is Morgan Gibbs-White a better player than Emile Smith-Rowe? Let me know in the comments out there. That's the news there. And on injury front, of course, we can talk about other players that we're potentially going to play against, their fitness and all of that, what is happening to them, how possible are they going to be? Are they going to be available for their games against Arsenal? We will find out. Like Kyle Walker, of course, if you watch that game between England versus Brazil, remember he sustained an injury in the 18th minute. He was subbed off. He was seen touching his hamstring. There is a possibility of a hamstring injury for Kyle Walker there. And the news emerging from the England camp at the moment is that Kyle Walker, of course, Harry Maguire and Sam Johnstone of Crystal Palace have returned to their respective clubs for assessment, having sustained injuries in recent days. I didn't know about Maguire and Sam Johnstone until early reports this morning that emerged that they have also returned to their respective clubs to be assessed, with having sustained injuries in the recent days. So, for me, humanly, I wouldn't want a player to sustain an injury. But if I want to be biased, I want Kyle Walker to be out for that game against Arsenal. So, so it's a bit of a good news for Arsenal should Kyle Walker, should he not be available for that particular game. So that's the news. Of course, we already know that Harry Kane wasn't in action for England against Brazil, as he's been nursing an ankle injury even before he was called up to the England national team. And as we speak, he has also returned to Germany to be assessed. That's an ankle injury there. It's quite a serious injury. So you remember that we are facing Bayern Munich in the quarterfinal of the Champions League, and Harry Kane is one of the deadliest strikers in world football as we speak. So the news right now is that he's returned to Bayern Munich to be assessed as he's nursing an ankle injury. So let me also know what your thoughts are in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and like the video as it's put out there, because these activities will ensure that we'll make sure that we keep growing as a community. Listen, people, this is only the beginning. As we keep going, we keep getting better and better. I assure you that. Be a part of this community. You have no reason to regret it. That's a bit of the news for there today. And as news keeps coming, don't remember that you will be the first to be notified. Thank you once again, and enjoy the week ahead. Peace.